Welcome to the lecture series on machine learning and deep learning fundamentals and application. This is typically for NPTEL final examination as considered as a competitive examination. So moving on to the discussion here, you are going to familiar about Bayes decision theory. So the meaning of Bayes decision theory is it is a probabilistic approach for the decision making under uncertainty. Moreover, it helps to minimize the expected loss. Okay, that's another specialty. The purpose is to minimize the expected loss. That is a major thing, and it minimizes the expected risk as well. There is a formula we can apply Bayes theorem using this. Okay, you can remember the probability of Wi on x equal to probability of x on Wi into probability of Wi by probability of x. So you can use this formula also to calculate the probability. Similarly, Bayes classifier choose omega I or Wi that minimizes the risk. Okay, so moreover, loss function and risk function is very important. Loss function lambda, it is quantifies the cost of errors for the wrong decision, applicable to wrong decision, where risk function R combines the loss function and the decision rule. Remember this formula so that you can solve some numerical example. Risk is equal to expected loss. Bayes decision rule minimizes this risk. That's a specialty of this particular point. Normal density and discriminant function, you can use the formula to calculate the normal density and discriminant function. Even the binary features, you can compute the probability in this equation. So there is a numerical example. This is already given in the assignment. So you can solve probability of A is given and B is also provided. Even probability of 1 on A is equal to 0.8, probability of 0 on B is equal to 0.7. For x equal to 1, so you can calculate probability of A on x equal to 1 and probability of B on x equal to 1. Ultimately, this is a class A problem. Bayes belief network, BBN, it's a graphical model representing the conditional dependencies among the variable. Each node represents the variable, even each edge represents the conditional dependency. Structure is directed acyclic graph, DAG. Okay, the structure of this BBN is direct acyclic graph, DAG. The equation of joint probability is given below. So you can solve the numerical example. This is one of your assignment problem. You can check assignment questions. You can solve this. Okay. So this problem is known as spam email problem. So if you know this equation, you can easily solve it. Independence in Bayesian network, variables are independent, no direct connections exist between them. That's a specialty. Similarly, the some entire point is summarized in this table. Bayes decision rule. The key idea is minimize the expected loss. Formula, choose class with the minimum risk. Bayesian theorem, update belief after seeing the evidence. Similarly, loss function, cost of wrong decision. Risk function implies the expected loss. Optimal decision, which minimize the losses. Model assumptions, features independent and normal. Bayesian network, DAG representing the dependencies, influence diagram, Bayesian net plus decision plus utility. Then binary feature decision, that is choose the class with the higher posterior. That's a specialty. There are high probability multiple choice questions like the goal of Bayesian Bayes decision theory is to minimize the expected loss. Important point, please do underline. Bayes decision rule combines loss function and a decision rule. That is another important point. In BBN, the variable from a direct acyclic cycle. That is the most important point which you can expect in the numerical example and MCQ. Influence diagram extend the BBN by adding the decision or utility. Loss function quantifies cost of errors. Assumption, features independent and normally distributed. Flew curve means F and C dependent. Risk based decision that consider the uncertainty and losses. Binary features example, that is class A. So for like a email spam problem that you have to remember, there are some numerical assignment questions which you can expect for the NPTEL examination. The optimal decision in Bayes decision theory is the one that find the right answer. Please read the question, which minimizes the loss function. That is most important. Bayes theory means Bayes decision means it is directly related to loss function. Which of the following is a common modeling assumption made when applying the Bayes decision theory in practical classification task? Please read the options. The right answer is feature vectors are independent and normally distributed. That is the right answer. The generalization form of Bayesian network that represents the solved decision problem under the uncertain knowledge is known as influence diagram. That is the right answer. The loss function used in risk-based Bayesian decision theory that quantifies the cost of different type of errors. Risk function in Bayesian decision theorem combines the loss function and the decision rule. That is most important. Sum of loss function and the decision rule. That is actually the risk function, which is in Bayesian decision theory. The risk-based Bayesian decision rule accounts for the consequence of different decision by considering the uncertainty in the data and the associated loss. Please read the option properly. So this is a numerical example. You can check out. Please read out once. Okay. So you can use the formula F on C. If you know the like this probability formula, A on B, probability of A on B, equation of probability of Wi or Wi on X, then you can easily solve this. So this is another numerical example. The right answer is this is applicable to class A. Even I have mentioned in the explanation. Even please go through the numerical example because this question may directly ask in the NPTEL examination. If you have any queries, you can use the comment box. I'm happy to answer back. So ultimately, what we discussed is we discussed the Bayesian theorem formula, like a Bayes decision theory. Even we discussed about the decision rule, loss function, and risk function. And also we discussed about the like a normal density, probability density, and BBN. Similarly, we talked about the numerical example for the email spam problem. Similarly, independent in like a Bayesian network. And ultimately, I summarize the entire point in this table. You can go through it. Even high probability MCQs are given below. Here, I think Bayes decision rule combines loss function and decision rule that is already asked in the assignment questions. Please go through this assignment question repeatedly. Surely you can clear the subject without any issue. So thank you so much for watching this video. Request everybody to share this video with the people, those who are preparing for NPTEL examination and related course on machine learning. Happy learning. Wish you all the very best for the examination. Thank you.